Hello, Mindsetters. Welcome to your favorite show. This is Learn Extra Live on a Spring School show. Why not? I mean, you've been waiting for this lesson. All you mathematical literacy students, this is your chance now. My name is AB, and I'm joined by Peter. How are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you. And hi there, viewers. I trust you're having a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Okay. All you government schools out there, fantastic time. I sadly am still working, but it's great to be here anyhow. Everyone, I believe we've got a wonderful kind of competition and loads of prizes. I can't wait to hear what the prize is. So just now, Ibrahim will tell us all about that.
Before I tell them about that, let's start with the serious stuff. What are we doing today?
Okay, what we're doing today, folk, is we are looking at the section of finances. And so in order to kind of cover this section, what we thought we'd do is we'd look at the exam papers from 2012, the November 2012 paper, as well as the supplementary paper from 2013. So that's the paper they wrote earlier this year, around about February, March time. And we're looking at the paper ones. Now, as soon as I say to you paper ones, you know that we're going to be looking at some very basic concepts, because that's what paper one's all about, okay? And before I forget this, because I know I will, right? After this show, so this show is from 4 o'clock to right about 5 o'clock. After this show, we've got another show, but it's not live. It's a pre-recording where we're looking at finances again, but we're looking at the paper 2 aspect of it, okay? So this is our live show. The next show was a show we recorded last week looking at the paper 2. But if you've got any questions, whether it's paper 1 or paper 2, to do anything with finances, hey, drop Ibrahim a note, and I'm sure he'll be able to let me know, and maybe we can look at that question for you. Ibrahim.
Yes, join us on Facebook, like our page. It is facebook.com/LearnExtra. Otherwise, follow us on Twitter @LearnExtra. And lastly, get your notes all for free on learnextra.co.za/Spring School. And now, this exciting competition that I need to tell you, it is not just only about luck, trends, and guessing. It is about an effort also. You get to go out there and seek after your friends to like our Facebook page. So what you do is, you tag yourself on the post that I've posted on Facebook page, and also share. If you can't tag yourself, rather share the post and write your lucky number. Peter, what is your lucky number between 0 and 9?
Between 0 and 9, I like 7. Eh?
You like 7?
I like 7.
I'll go with 0.
Is it?
Yeah. So
okay, that's a reflection on intelligence or just a good number?
I'll go with 0. You know why? Because currently we're on 820, which is 53,820. So if we were to stop the clock now, I would win. I would get to the draw because the last digit is 0. So mindset is, if you are 7, it means you'll need to get your 7 friends to like the page. That's how we're going to be. That's how the competition runs. You get it?
I get it. I understand. I just can't wait to hear what the prize is.
The prize is just an awesome mystery package.
A mystery package. Folk, that sounds interesting. Well worth entering, I kid you not. And you know what? Let's get on with some mathematical literacy. Okay, our first question comes from the November 2012 paper 1. Let's have a look at it. Determine the total price of 2.5 kilograms of meat costing 63 Rand 99 per kilogram. Okay. Now, guys, I know you're out there watching, and whether you're in grade 10, grade 11, or grade 12, you're probably looking at this and saying, ish, this is a very, very, very simple question. Folk, I'm not so worried about the question, but rather the method we're using in getting this answer. So let's have a look at it. If you look here, I'm comparing 2 things. I'm comparing, first of all, the weight or the mass, okay? And probably all science teachers are now busy having an absolute freak because I'm using the word weight instead of mass. But nevertheless, we're comparing weight with price. Now, if I were to look at this, everything on the left-hand side of your screen, all the figures I put under the word weight are going to refer to the weight or the mass. All the figures on your right-hand side of the screen are going to refer to the price. So let's have a look at this. I know for 63 Rand, oops, let's try and get rid of that, shall we? We've got a bit of a oopsie there. Okay, let's try again. So for the price of 63 Rand 99, I know I get 1 kilogram of meat. but I don't want 1 kilogram. Okay, I got a huge family to feed. I got a wife who eats a kilogram by herself. Okay, I got a son who eats another kilogram by himself, and currently we have a little kid staying with us. In fact, he's not so little, he matriculated last year. In fact, he was the head boy of Michael House last year, a guy called Christopher. He's staying with us, and he probably eats about 5 kilograms of meat in one meal. But nevertheless, I go off to the shop. I don't want 1 kilogram. I now want to buy 2,5 kilograms. So I'm going to say, right, instead of 1, I want 2,5 kilograms. How much is that going to cost me? Now, folks, the question we need to ask ourselves is this. How did we get the 1 kilogram to be 2,5? Now, whenever we work with rate or proportion, guys, we've either got to multiply or we've got to divide. And in this case, I'm going to say to myself, how did 1 become 2,5? I multiplied it by 2,5. And what I do on one side, I've got to do on the other side. So I'm going to multiply my price by 2,5. Now, my brain is rather small, so I'm going to use a calculator and say, okay, so we have 63 Rand, 99 cents. We're multiplying that by 2.5, and we're going to land up now with an answer of 159 Rand, comma, 975. Now, here's another basic concept we've got to remember. Folk, when we're dealing with money, how many decimal places? 2. Okay? Why 2? Because there are only 99 cents in a rand. Soon as I get to 100 cents, it becomes another rand. So I've got to take this figure of 159,975 and round it to 2 decimal places. So my answer is 159 Rand and 98 cents. So I've got 159 Rand and 98 cents. Okay. The question is easy. It's the method that we've got to understand. So did you see what I did? I said we've got kilograms, okay, and we've got rands. I'm going to put all my kilograms under each other and all my rands under each other. If I know the price of 1 kilogram, I can work out the price of 2,5 kilograms. How? By multiplying by 2,5, and what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So I also multiplied the other side by 2,5, and we got our answer of 159 Rand and 98 cents. Remembering we have to round to 2 decimal places. Why 2? Because we're dealing with money. Okay, and folk, I always get frustrated with my students. Okay, when I give them a calculation in finance, and I say, right, get the answer, and some kid puts up his hand and says, sir, you made a mistake in this question. And I say, well, what mistake did I make? And he says, you didn't tell us how many decimal places to round off to. And then I just give the evil look. Okay, I have a look. My students say, it's the evil look. And then he knows he's done something. Guys, money, 2 decimal places. Let's go on to our next question. Here we go. Now, Mrs. Rose received a cash sales slip after she bought some goods at KT Haven at the Cape Town International Airport. Below is a copy of the cash sales slip with some of the details omitted. What's omitted mean, people? It means some of the details have been removed from the cash slip. Okay, so let's have a look at it there. There's the cash slip, CT Haven. You know it's Cape Town International Airport. It's at the domestic departures, opposite gate number 8. It gives you a telephone number, a VAT registration number, and a tax invoice number. Okay, that telephone number, by the way, we just made it up, so please don't go quickly start phoning 021 123 4567. You're going to get through to absolute no one. Okay, so here's a whole lot of details. You can see that this person went in and bought a chocolate slab, okay? But, look here carefully, didn't buy 1, but bought 3 chocolate slabs. Okay, this could have been our producer before she flew into Joburg this morning, all right? At Cape Town, because she's the kind of person that would buy 3 slabs of chocolate. Okay, so she buys 3 slabs of chocolate. In fact, I did such a good job here, that I just kind of got rid of the 3. So let's try that again. Okay, so she bought 3 slabs, each slab costing 14 Rand 95. And I bet, I almost guarantee, one of the questions is going to be, what was the total cost of the chocolate slabs? Okay, You know how to do it, I know how to do it, and I bet we're going to have to do it soon. Right, there. Our producer goes and buys some bangles. They cost 13 Rand 95 each, but she buys a 97 Rand 65 cents worth of bangles. How many bangles do you think she bought? I bet that's going to be a question. Right. Then, total excluding VAT. There's a figure missing here. Then, the total including VAT comes to 167 Rand and 45 cents. Cash payment, 167 Rand 45. The amount tendered, in other words, the person gave 200 Rand. The change, 32 Rand 55. Okay. Right, folk. Now, let's have a look at our questions. Our questions were, how much did Mrs. Rose pay in total for the 3 slabs of chocolate? And we said we were going to get that question. So it's going to be simple. If 1 slab costs 14 Rand 95, 3 slabs are going to be 14.95 plus 14.95 plus 14.95. Or 3 times 14.95. And out comes the calculator with that, and we say 3 times 14 Rand 95 equals, and there's our answer, 44 Rand 85. So we know that this figure over here is 44 Rand and 85 cents. Okay, our next question. Let's go through it. How many bangles did Mrs. Rose buy? Okay, so if she spent a total of 97 Rand 65 cents, how many bangles did she buy if each one cost 13 Rand 95? Now guys, there's a simple way of doing it, and there's a more complicated or a longer way of doing it, but you may understand it better. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out our calculator. I'm actually going to shift our calculator across the screen here so I can see the figures as well. So that's probably put our producer in a bit of a panic, but nevertheless, there it is. Okay, now what we're going to do is this. I know I've got 13 Rand 95, and I've got students, guys, who do it this way. I'm going to show you. Okay, let's try that again because we only wrote 3 Rand 95. Okay, so 13 Rand 95, that's 1 bangle, plus 13 Rand 95, that's 2 bangles, equals, and we haven't got to 97 Rand yet. So we're going to keep going. Plus 13 Rand 95, that's 3 bangles, and it's now costing me 41 Rand 85, we're not at 97 Rand yet. Plus 13 Rand 95 equals, we're now on 4 bangles. We haven't got there yet. Do you understand what we're doing? So all my student would be doing here is saying 13.95 plus 30.95 equals, haven't got there yet, plus. Or a quicker way is to do the following. Say, I know I'm spending 97 Rand and 65 cents on bangles. If each one costs me 13 Rand 95, if I say 97.65 divided by 13.95, I'm going to get my answer, and there she is, 7 bangles. Okay? So I know I've got 7 bangles. Now, folk, you will know you've made a mistake if you got 6,3 bangles, or 6,8 bangles, or 7,4 bangles. Why? Because you can't buy comma something of a bangle. Okay? You can't walk into a shop and say, yes, this is a smart bangle, I'll buy this one. Gee, I like this bangle, but I don't like all of it. I just like half of it. You know what? Out come the scissors, we cut the bangle, and I take half of it. You're going to get into serious trouble. So I knew I had to have a whole number of bangles. Okay, what's our final question here? What's our next question? A Joy magazine costs 21 Rand 89 excluding VAT. Calculate the amount of VAT paid on the Joy magazine. All right, so off we go. We're buying a Joy magazine. It costs 21 Rand and 89 cents. But they haven't put the VAT on. So we've got to add the VAT. And folk, what is VAT? VAT is 14%. So I'm going to find 14% of my 21 Rand 89 cents. So I've now got 21 Rand and 89 cents plus, and out comes the calculator again. Okay, hopefully. Yep, there she is. So we're going to say I've got 14, oops, let's try that again. Fraction button, there we go, 14 over 100. We're going to multiply that now by, oops, sorry, let's try to get out of there. Multiply that by 21 Rand and 89 cents. Okay, equals, and I get an answer of 3,0646. Now remember we spoke about that. How many decimal places do I have to round to? Okay, 2 decimal places. So 3,0646 becomes 3,06. Why? Because that 4 is a low number. It's lower than 5. So the 6 stays as it is. It's not going to become 3,07. So 3,06 it is. So 3 Rand and 6 cents. Okay. And I know it's time for an advert. My producer's probably having a heart attack, but nevertheless, let's just finish this anyway. So we're going to say, right, so we have 3 Rand and 6 cents. To that, we're going to add the 21 Rand and 89 cents, and we get an answer of 24 Rand 95. 24 Rand and 95 cents. Sure. I can't believe time's gone so quickly. It's time for an ad break. Have you found out the prize yet?
I'm still calculating too.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pete. Otherwise, mindsetters, make sure that you join our online study group. Search for Maths Lit. Maths Lit. That is the group that you can join. We have notes that are also posted there. We have other mindsetters that are doing also mathematical literacy, which are there to help you, and you are there also to help them. Otherwise, we'll see you after the break. Welcome back, mindsetters. Now, I need to tell you about this. This awesome prize. You know what, Peter? We're having a Learn Extra hamper. That is why I'm so excited. So in it might be maybe a signed t-shirt, maybe yours or mine, maybe the mindsetters will choose, but it is an awesome Learn Extra hamper. I've seen it, and there's some nice goodies there. So get entering, mindsetters. Take yourself on the number that you think is your lucky number between 0 and 9, or either share on your wall and then write that number. Your lucky number is 7, right?
My lucky number is 7, and I really need to win that hamper, especially if it comes with a new shirt, because my shirt is really fraying here. In fact, viewers out there, listen to this. If you think my producer should get me a new shirt, why don't you drop an email and say, Pete needs a new color shirt? And I tell you what, if we get 50 people who say yes, then by next show, which is Wednesday, so our producer's really got to wake up, I'll have a new shirt. How cool
you know
is
what,
that?
from the producer, talking about shirts, she's asking me, why is your shirt getting smaller? Is it because of the dry clean, or you probably lost some weight? Or
I
what?
think we're getting personal now, people. We really are. No, it is getting smaller. Apparently, I'm using the wrong detergent, and it's shrinking. It's got nothing to do with me getting bigger.
That's not good for a giveaway.
No, it's not good for a giveaway. Although I might give, I'll sign it. And then.
Or
All right,
maybe
folks,
we
let's
can
get back to Maths Lit. We're getting sidetracked here. All right, so we just before the break, we looked at this wonderful question where it said a Joy magazine costs 21 Rand 89, excluding VAT. Okay, and I did this in a specific way where we took the price of the magazine and then we found 14% of that price and then added the two together and got a final price. There's another way to do it, and I'm going to show you this way because I know the very next question. Okay, and this other method might help us solve the next question. But before I do that, Ibrahim, I know that someone asked a question. Was it Shane?
Shane, yes.
Shane asked a question. Shane, hi, thanks for tuning in. Shane, your question was this. Why do some values include VAT and some exclude VAT? Well, Shane, the truth is this, that when you go to a shop, all prices should include the VAT. Okay, so when you go shopping at a certain shop, and I'm not allowed to mention shops on the air, that we're not allowed to do that, hey?
Yeah.
But let's just say I go to a shop and I pick something and I pay for it, and I walk into the shop and I now buy it, and I see a price on the shelf, that price will include the VAT. Okay, so most items should include the VAT. Where they don't include VAT is normally, for example, when you go off and you get your motor car serviced or something. They'll say, hey, it comes to 800 Rand excluding the VAT. Okay? But if a price excludes the VAT, you should be told beforehand. All right, Shane, I hope that answers your question. Let's go back to this one. And what I'm now going to do is we see here that this magazine cost 21 Rand 89. We then found 14% of it, came to 3 Rand 6, added it to the 21.89 and got a final price of 24.95. Now, guys, there's another way of doing that. Okay, watch carefully here. If I were now to take my magazine and it cost 21 Rand and 89 cents, and I multiply it by, now, I want 100% of that value. I want 21 Rand 89, plus I want 14% of the value. Now, what is 100% plus 14%? It's 114%, isn't it? So I could take that value and multiply it by 114 and divide by 100. Why by 100? Because we said it's 114%. And when we deal with percent, we know there's got to be 100 involved with that somehow. Now look what happens when I take out my calculator. I'm going to say I've got 21 Rand 89, multiply by fraction button, 114 over 100, okay? And what is our answer? There's our answer, 24 Rand 95. So my answer, 24 Rand 95, the exact answer I got when I've got a value and added 14%. Okay? Now, why have I shown you this? Because of our very next question. Let's have a look here. Calculate the total, excluding VAT, for the goods bought. Now, if you remember when we looked at our receipt, let's go back up here and look at it. It said here the total, including VAT, was 167 Rand 45. We got to say, well, what's the value excluding the VAT? In other words, what's the value of these goods before we include the VAT? Now, when I've got a value and I want to add VAT, what did I do? I multiplied by 114 over 100. The big number on top, let's have a look at it. The big number, 114 on top of the 100. Why? Because I expected my answer to get bigger. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, right, well, this is now the price, including VAT. Okay. What is the price before the VAT? Now, will that be a lower price or a higher price? Well, obviously, it's going to be a lower price, because if I've added the VAT, that's going to be my final price. So what was my price before I added the VAT? Now, I'm going to use the exact same figures again, 114 and 100. But instead of multiplying by 114 over 100, I'm now going to multiply by 100 over 114. Now, the big number's at the bottom. Why? Because when I divide by a bigger number, my answer is going to be smaller. And I expect my answer to be smaller. Agreed? So let's take out our calculator. Out she comes. And we've got 167 Rand. All right. And let's just move our calculator to the side so we can see these figures. And 45 cents. We're going to multiply it now by 100 over 114 equals, and there's our answer, 146,88596. Oh my goodness, that number just carries on forever. But guys, we're dealing with money, so it's 2 decimal places. So can you see this? 146 Rand, definitely 146 Rand, comma, now 885. 88, 5. 5's the big number, right? So the 88, that second 8 becomes a 9. So we've got 89 cents. So the price of my goods before the VAT was added was 146 Rand and 89 cents. If the next question, which it wasn't, but if the next question did say, what was the VAT? Well, that's easy, hey? we're going to take 167 Rand and 45 cents and subtract, 167 Rand 45 cents and subtract 146 Rand 89 cents, and that difference will tell me what the VAT was. Are we okay on that? Any other questions there before I move on?
Right, we don't have any question in the
Okay,
meantime.
great. All right, next question then. Let's go for it again. This is from the November 2012, paper 1. Okay. Kiriboni, have I said that name right? Say that name for me.
Kidiboni.
Kiriboni, how good am I? All right, so Kiriboni has a check account with Izuko Bank, right? The bank charges a service fee up to a maximum of 31 Rand 50, VAT included, on all transactional amounts. Table 3 shows 5 different transactions on Kiriboni's check account. Now, the transactions on Kiriboni's check account, here is the table. All right. Before we even look at that, I want you to take note of something vitally important. They have told us that the maximum you can pay, all right, for any service fee is 31 Rand 50. Now, we've got to remember that, because later on, if we calculate a service fee and it comes to 34 Rand or 40 Rand or 50 Rand, we can't charge our client 50 Rand. We can only charge them a maximum of 31 Rand 50. Why? Because we told them that. Okay, right, so let's go on. Now, calculating the missing value A using the following formula. Service fee in Rand is 3 Rand 50 plus 1.20% of the transaction amount. Okay, so let's do this. So the service fee is going to be 3 Rand 50 plus 1.2%. Folk, how do we write 1.2%? 1.2 over 100. Okay, so 1.2 over 100 of means times, remember that from grade 8 or even grade 6, of the transaction amount. What was the transaction amount? 344 Rand 50 cents. So 344 Rand 50 cents. Okay, now folk, you can do this all in one step in the calculator. There's nothing to stop you from doing that. I would encourage you though just to do the bracket part first. Why? Just in case you make a mistake somewhere, you're going to pick up some part marks. So here we go. We've got, and out comes our calculator. It's going to do it for us. Again, I'm going to move my calculator because it's in front of the figures. Okay, and away we go. Fraction button. 1.2 over 100 multiplied by 344 Rand and 50 cents. Okay, equals, and there's my answer, 4 Rand 13 cents. Watch how I rounded that, hey? 4 Rand 13 cents. So this is 4 Rand 13 cents. To that, we're going to add the 3 Rand 50. So we're going to say, right, clear our calculator. 3 Rand, let's go there. 3 Rand 50 plus 4 Rand 13 equals, and there's my answer, 7 Rand 63. So my fees are 7 Rand and 63 cents. That's the fee I'm paying when I have a debit order for 344 Rand and 50 cents. Okay, next one. Calculate the missing value B using the following formula. Right, so here's the missing value B. So now what happens is we're telling you what the service fee is. We're telling you, hey, you're paying 11 Rand 85 to the bank for doing some transaction. How much was that transaction worth? Now, this examiner was extremely nice to you because they gave you a formula to do this. They didn't have to, hey? You could have had to try and work it out in your head. So, let's go for this. So, we are going to say, right, our formula states the following. That my service fee, which was 11 Rand and 85 cents, minus 3 Rand 50 divided by 1,2%. Okay? Out comes our calculator, and we're going to say, right, we've got a fraction button, and on the top of that button, okay, we're just trying to get there again. There we go. Okay, 11 Rand 85 minus 3 Rand 50 all over. Yeah, our calculator seems to be giving us a bit of a nightmare. Fraction button again, and then we've got 1.2 over 100 equals, now watch what happens. My answer gives me 695 Rand 83. 695 Rand 83 cents. Okay. Ibrahim, you told me just now that there was someone called Susan that was asking us about rounding. Okay. So I just want to spend, we've got about a minute to go before the next ad break, so I want to just speak about the rounding. Susan, thanks for watching. Thanks for your question. Let's have a look at this quickly. If I were to ask you, and Ibrahim, I'm going to use you here, so you've got to think quite carefully. How many digits do we have in total in our number system?
From 0 to 9.
Right. So you're saying 9?
Yes.
Absolutely wrong. Hey?
It's 10
because
with 0.
They're 10. Ah,
Yes.
excellent.
0 to
because
9.
we've got to include 0, and that's what so many people forget to do. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If I were to find the middle mark, who am I talking to again? Susan. Hey?
Susan, yes.
Okay, thanks, Susan. If I were to find the middle mark of that, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. So everything this side of my line, folk, we call like it's a small number. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8 are on the bigger side of all my digits. So if I'm rounding and I give you 2,89 and I'm saying round to 1 decimal place, this is the guy that's going to either stay the same or go up. If the next digit's a high number, that 8's going to go up. And 9 is one of my big numbers. Yeah, my big numbers. So because that's a big number, my 8's going to go up, and I'm going to have 2,9. If this was 2,84, let's make it a 4. Now I'm doing what the guys do at school, and I always tell them never do that. Okay, never write over your own handwriting. 2,84, and I say round to 1 decimal place. This 8's going to change or stay the same. 4 is one of my low numbers, so the 8's going to stay the same, and I'm going to get 2,8. Susan, I hope that's answered your question.
Nice one. Thank you very much. And now talking about random numbers, we've selected our own random numbers, but after the break, we're stopping the clock because currently we're on 829. So I just need one person to like, and then it'll be my 0.
Oh, cool.
So automatically you've lost. Otherwise, Mindsetters will stop the clock after the break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. Now, guess who's excited and happy that they might go through the draw? It's me, of course, Peter.
Wow, what's the last number?
It's 0. You just
Last
said it.
digit,
Yeah,
0.
it's 830. So, Mindsetters, I was just hoping for that one person to like, and indeed they had me. Thank heavens. So, Mindsetters, if you have chosen 0, just like me, you should always trust me. Hey, guys, because I guess I have luck. In a way. But otherwise, everyone that has chosen 0, you'll get through the draw. And after the last ad break, we'll be announcing the winner throughout the whole day to all the random winners.
But the most important question is, how many viewers have said, I need a new T-shirt?
How many of them?
Because we said, remember, viewers, if 50 of you say, I need a new shirt, my producer's going out and buying me one tomorrow. And I'll walk in the studio with a brand new color. I can't wait for it.
Okay, let's put that fits you. A correct one that fits you.
One that fits me.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're getting rude again. Let's get on with some mathematics. Right, our next finance question. Guys, again, this is adapted from the November 2012 paper 1. Here we go. Mr. Dahan and his family live in Mossel Bay. and he intends buying a new car. He sees the advertisement below for one of the cars he's interested in. And the ad says the following: you can pay 199,000 Rand cash, okay, or 19,900 Rand deposit plus 3,599 Rand 85 cents for 60 months on hire purchase. Guys, you know what hire purchase is. Matrix out there, you should know this very well. So hire purchase is when I'm going off to buy a car, okay, and I get there and I see the stunning car, and I say to the salesman, gotta have it, just gotta have it, how much? And he says to me, this car costs you 199,000 if you give me cash. And I say, fantastic. Pull out my wallet and realize there's not that much money in there at all. In fact, there's not even 199 Rand in there, okay? So I say to him, we've got to make a plan. I want the car, I don't have that kind of cash. So he says then, well, okay, if you give me 19,900 Rand as a deposit, and then after that, give me a further 3,599 Rand and 85 cents a month for 60 months. 60 months is 5 years, eh? So for the next 5 years, every month, I've got to give him 3,599 Rand and 85 cents, okay? By the end of those 5 years, that car is now mine. But, people, here's a reality check. No one is going to give you money just for the sake of giving you money. And if they are going to loan you some money while you drive around in their car, I bet they're going to charge you some interest. And this is what we're going to check here. So let's have a look at it. So we've got, calculate the total cost of the car in the advertisement if it is bought on hire purchase. So what are we going to say? We're going to say, first of all, there was a deposit. So my deposit is equal to, and I hope you guys can see this orange color, is 19,900 Rand. Then we've got our monthly payments. And our monthly payments are going to be 3,599 Rand 85 cents for 60 months. So let's have a look at it. Again, I'm moving my calculator so I can see the figures. 3,599 Rand and 85 cents. I'm going to pay that for 60 months. So the amount that I need to pay, now have a look at that, is 215,991 Rand. Ibrahim, you're going to remember that for me, hey? 215,991 Rand. 215,991 Rand. Okay, I shouldn't have that comma there. Let's get rid of this tiny little comma. Great. So, that's what we're paying in total every single month for 5 years. But remember, that's not our only payment. We also put down 19,000 Rand right in the beginning, before we even started paying monthly installments. And it was 19,900. So besides this 215,991 Rand, we're also going to add a further 19,900 Rand equals, and there's my answer, 235,891. 235,891 Rand. Okay. So that's how much this car is going to cost me if I buy it on hire purchase. If I paid it cash, it would only have cost me how much? Let's have a look. 199,000. So how much interest have I actually paid on this vehicle? Let's have a look. So we're going to say that minus the 199,000 and 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Equals that car, because I didn't pay cash, has cost me an additional 36,891 Rand. So I bet you out there saying, well, why don't we just buy things for cash then? Well, guys, the truth is this, that not everyone has that kind of money. Okay? So you can't just buy it for cash. And then the next question people say is, well, why don't you save for 5 or 6 years and then buy the car for cash? Well, that's a good idea, but number one, you've got to be very disciplined to do that. And number two, folk, in the meantime, you're paying for bus fare, okay? And number three, and most importantly, after 5 years, your car's not going to cost you $199,000. Why? Because of inflation, the car is going to cost you even more than that. So you would have just after 5 years saved your $199,000, gone in with enthusiasm, said to the salesman, here's my $199,000, I want that car, and he's going to turn around and say, sorry mate, got bad news for you, the car's just gone up in price. Okay, it's now valued at $260,000. Sure, then we got a problem. Okay, right, let's go on to our next question. Our next question is this. Mr. Dahan and his family, okay, we've read all that, here's the question. Mr. Dahan decides to buy a new car in 2 years' time instead. He will then sell his current car and use that money as the deposit for the new car. Currently, the value of his car is 51,600 Rand. The value of the car depreciates at a rate of 13.5% per annum. Calculated, rounded to the nearest 100 Rand. That's an interesting one. We haven't seen that before. The depreciated value of his car in 2 years' time. So, here we go. We get given a formula. Guys, if we get given the formula, you know you're going to use it. How much was his car? His car was valued at 51,900. So we got, 600, hey? 600. 51,600 Rand. 1 minus, what's the interest rate? It's 13.5%. 0.135 or 13.5 over 100. And it's for 2 years because that car is going to depreciate over 2 years. We're going to take an ad break, then we're going to do the calculation, and then we're going to hear who our winner is.
Here's the winner. We have
you know the winner already?
Yes.
Sure.
My producer is so smart, trust me. Our winner is Makamu Rivalani Forget.
Sure.
Makamu Rivalani Forget is our winner from the Life Science Show. So, congratulations to you. You've won yourself
From
a
the
Land
Life
Extra
Science Show. This
hamper.
is Metzlet.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, they had to enter from all this show.
Oh,
The
I
winner
see.
gets to be announced on this last show.
Okay,
So,
fantastic. So well done.
Makamu Rivalani Forget. You've won yourself a Land Extra hamper. Otherwise, Mindsetters, thank you for participating. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. Now, two things that you really need to take consideration of. One is that you can join an online study group for MathsLit, which is Mindset MathsLit, all one word. Join that online group and let's learn more. And the last thing that you need to know is that we have an extra lesson that is after this show. So after watching this live show, there's an extra show for you.
That's right, viewers. And don't forget that the show after this, although it's not live, we're looking again at finances, but we're looking at questions that come from paper 2. So it gets a little bit more complicated. But time's running on, and we've got about 7 minutes and about 54 seconds. So let's get on with this. Okay. So here we go. We were looking at these values just before the break. We said our car was valued at 51,600 Rand. It depreciates at a value of 13.5%. And we're going to have that car for 2 years. Then we're going to take the money from that car and use it as a deposit for our new car. Okay, so here we go. We've put all the figures up on the board. Now we're just going to do everything on our calculator. So we've got 51,600 Rand, open bracket, okay, open bracket, yeah, there we go. We'll try open it, there it is. 1 minus 0.135, close bracket, to the power of 2, or you can push squared, equals, okay, now what's the car going to be valued? It's going to have a value of 38,608 Rand 41. 38,600 and, I've forgotten already, here we go, 8 Rand 41. R8 and 41 cents. That's what our car is going to be worth in 2 years' time. So it's going to depreciate. It's going to lose value. Okay? Now, if he'd taken that car, would he have been able to pay the deposit on the new one? Well, the deposit for the new vehicle was 19,900 Rand, remember? But obviously that price is going to go higher because in 2 years' time that car is going to be worth more. But I'm sure the value of 38,000 should cover that deposit for the new vehicle. Right, our next question. Right, how many liters, okay, sorry. Petrol consumption can be calculated using the following formula. Petrol consumption in liters per 100 kilometers is the distance covered divided by 100 times 12,5. Okay? Guys, the fact that the examiner is giving you this formula is just going to make life so much easier. Clearly, this is a paper one type of question. Okay, so how much distance has he covered? He's covered 100 kilometers. We're going to divide it by 100 and then multiply by 12,5. Now, guys, 100 over 100 is 1. 1 times 12,5 is 12,5. So we know that this guy uses 12,5 liters of petrol for every 100 kilometers he travels. So if he travels 200 kilometers, he's going to use 2 lots of 12.5 liters, which is 25 liters of petrol. Let's look at our next question. Our next question says this. Calculate the petrol consumption in liters per 100 kilometers if Mr. Dehaan covered a distance of 325 kilometers. So he's covering 325 kilometers. Remember, we've got to put it over 100 and then multiply by 12,5. Why over 100? Why times 12,5? Because that's what our formula told us to do. And so we're going to be very obedient students and do just as we are told. And so out comes that calculator again. Clear our calculator. We say fraction button 325 over 100. And then we're going to multiply that by 12.5 equals, and here's my answer, 40,625. So it's going to be 40,625 liters of petrol are required to cover 325 kilometers. Now, guys, let's just have a look at this because I've got a decimal place, 625. So as soon as I get a decimal place, I've got to ask myself, does the question ask me how many decimal places to round to? If we read this, it doesn't tell us, okay? But what it is going to tell us, though, is this, that if I look at the front sheet of my question paper, it'll say, where necessary, round to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to round that straight away to 2, and I've got 40,63. Okay, our next question. Thabo McKees is a businessman who visits various capital cities in Africa. Table 6 below shows the exchange rate between 11 African currencies, United States dollar, and the South African rand. And there is our table over here. And I don't know how clear that's coming out on your screen, but hopefully you can see that. Okay. Now it says which currency had an exchange rate of 0,012040 to 1 unit of its currency. Guys, this is a very basic question. We should be able to tell it straight off the table. There's nothing mind-boggling about this, okay? So, we're looking for this figure, 0,012. 0,012, can I see it? Here it is. 04, there it is. There. What's the currency? It's the Kenyan shilling. Nothing hard about that at all, hey? Next one, quickly, because we're running out of time. Which of the currencies above gives you the largest amount in US dollars for one of its currencies? So let's have a look here. Right. Which one is going to be the biggest? Let's have a look at it quickly. So the biggest one is I've got comma 16, I've got comma 56. This is it over here. What is it? It's going to be, and I've drawn a line right over it, so I can't, the Ghanaian CD. Is it CEDI or CD? Do you know that? CEDI?
It's cedar.
Cedar. Cool. I learned something as well. Right. Next one. Tabo's accommodation in Zambia costs 25,976,87 kwacha. Convert this amount to US dollars. Now, guys, we're running out of time. I'm not going to have time to do this. All I'm going to say is we'd have to look at the table, see what the currency is, and multiply it by the 25,000 to work out how many US dollars it will actually cost us. I really can't believe how quickly time goes when we're doing mathematical literacy. I'm sure you must know that as well. When you're watching the history and the geography and accountancy and the maths and the biology, it must be so boring watching that. But Maths Lad is really good stuff. Guys, remember, after this show, there's another show where I'll be talking to you about paper 2 kind of finance.
Well said, Peter. And even tomorrow, we are starting off with physical sciences at 11. And then at 2:30, we are having geography. And lastly, at 4 o'clock, we're going to be having some history. So tomorrow, it's going to be another fun day. From us to you, we just want to say thank you very much and peace.